Welcome back to I Have Four Friends Gaming, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to defend from enemy missiles. We're currently on a co-op mission called Sandbusters. We're on the Moscow mission with a depiction of the 2010. That's already a lot of missiles in the air. What the fuck? Alright, so the way we defend is we're going to start out with the IDBNG method. The Identify, Determine, Beam, Notch, and then G-pull method. Might have just been a little bit tripping there. So, identification starts by figuring out which system is shooting at you. As you can see in this game mode, that might be extremely difficult considering everything is shooting at you. But the usual way you can do that is through your RWR system. We're already doing a beaming method, so we're already aiming off to the side. We've got that Mad 4 system, so we're going to declutter, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that's aiming at us currently. Looks like they're all aiming at us, but we'll start to move in. So, we've identified the threat that we're going to target first, the Mad 4. We're going to determine if we should commit to our attack, which means continuing forward, or go defensive. More than likely, we're going to have to abandon our attack halfway through and go defensive just because of the amount of systems that are currently aiming at us and firing at us. So the next step after we've identified and determined is going to be beaming, and I'll show you that now. We're flying directly towards the system, but now we're going to fly 90 degrees away.
This is command. Drones coming your way.
What this is going to do is it's going to force the missile to expend a lot more of its energy and set us up for a notch. So we're already 90 degrees away from that radar system. All we have to do is point our nose down, as you can see we already have. We're going to pop chaff and flares and make a slight S pattern. And just on the bends, we're going to pop chaff and flare until we see our enemy missile. Once that missile is close enough to us that we can see it on the RWR, we'll go for just a general notch instead of this S shape because we're trying to defend against multiple systems targeting us. There's the missile. It's already lost lock. But that missile is still inbound, so we still have something to worry about. We're now going to go ahead and turn in. We've determined that we no longer have enemy threats coming toward us. We're going to relock onto our Mad 4. And we're going to press for our attack. So we've notched. The last letter is G for G-pulling, which is actually one of the worst things that you can really do because it's not as successful as the others. We've now gotten in range to fire. I'm going to do that on that guy. Now, we know we have missiles inbound again because, you know, they're pissed at us. It's what they do. We can beam, but while keeping our enemy inside of our view. Looks like they shot down our missiles. We might have to fire more.
Shoot. This is command.
At this distance, we're going to immediately go for a defensive. We're not even going to worry about determining whether or not we should commit to our attack. And just now we're going to use terrain masking since we have a little bit of a opportunity here. But you see this missile that's incoming from behind us. We're still going to just in case. Nope. So as you see, it's pretty simple. It allows you to get into the enemy's threat envelope real quick. And this is where G-pulling actually comes in.
Shoot.
When you're this close to something like a Mad 4 system or, you know, any of the surface-to-launch air systems, besides like the IRAPCs or MANPADs, things along those lines, you can usually G-pull them if you're close enough. But as you can see, that system is pretty far away, so we're not going to try that.
Missile launch. Chaff flare. Chaff flare. Over D. Chaff flare.
Now, if you would like to get good at blocking missiles or defending from missiles, whatever you want to call it, that was a little
Altitude.
bad at determination.
Missile
You can
launch.
go and practice at night is the best way to do it, and I'll show you a little bit of gameplay footage of this after this against a single SAM site at night, so that way you can learn when to start defending.
Altitude.
I'll probably also make the mission public, that way people can actually, you know, also practice it.
Altitude.
Let's go ahead and switch over to that now. Bitchin' Betty there, bitchin' our ass off as always. But keep in mind, the method is identify the threat, determine your intentions, so are you going to commit or are you going to start defending immediately?
Missile launch.
3, beaming.
Missile
4,
launch.
notching. 5, G-pulling. And, of course, there is a 6th option, which is turning tail and running. Those enemy missiles fired at me will run out of fuel long before they have the opportunity to actually catch up to me. So, we'll just go ahead and altitude hold. Turn around, take a nice little look, wave bye-bye to those missiles. No worries. See you in the next part of the video. Turn down our MDF brightness. We got our night vision on, which, by the way, if your night vision just has a little circle with all this blacked out, go back to your home and then go to settings under the VTOL VR's main menu, and it's under experimental or video. I can't remember which, but there is full screen night vision, which gives you this, makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing. Or if you prefer the mil-simi, monocular VR night vision, you can also do that. So, this mission here just will help you practice against defending from surface-to-air missiles. Air-to-air missiles aren't much different. You can do the same exact thing. Wow, that is a pretty big glare. So, this enemy MAD-4 system is set up with a few things. It's an enemy MAD-4 system. I think it's 55 to 60 kilometers away. And it's got MAD-4A missiles, which means they have their own internal radar, which will help you get really good at defending against that type of missile. So, hop into this, pop on, and the reason starting off at night is going to make it so much easier, let's go ahead and get the HUD thing off and just leave that on there, is you'll be able to see contrails a lot easier, a lot farther off. So, we're starting to get into the area where we should see the MAD-4 missile pretty soon here. And we're going to employ the IDBNG method. We've identified the threat, we know what it has, that MAD-4 system is immortal, so there's no point in even firing at it. But it only has 4 missiles and it has a 60-second reload after that. So we're going to start to move toward it. Boop. Got a nice lock. And that really bright contrail you can see. So we're going to go 90 degrees from that contrail, not the MAD-4 system itself, but the contrail, and start pointing down so that way it has to go into a really dense air.
Chaff flare. Chaff flare. Chaff flare. Chaff flare.
And there was the G-pull at the end. Chaff and Flare did its job. Well, Chaff did. And now we're going to go ahead and turn back in. We're going to start our commitment. Put our HUD system back on just so that we can see. But as you can see, we're almost inside of engagement range, and even if it launches a missile now, by the time it even gets to a threat to be... by the time it even gets to be a threat for us, we'll already have launched 2 missiles at it. So... bonk, bonk, and we're going to start to beam, and as soon as start our notch, pointing down, and as you can see, the missile completely lost us. We'll pull away. I turned too quickly and my index trackers lost where I was at. And we can turn back and fire again if we need to.
Shoot.
We're inside of engagement range.
Shoot.
But I'm just kind of wasting missiles because that thing's immortal. We'll do it again though.
Over T.
No, actually, we'll wait until we see the missile a little closer. There you go.
Over D.
Now we have a missile warning.
Over D.
I'll show you this process
Over
still
D.
works even
Chaff
at that closer
flare.
range.
Chaff flare.
Boop.
Chaff flare. Over D. Over D. Over D.
If you get close enough to the system, you can just straight G-pull its missiles without even having to worry. But I do believe that was the last missile it's going to have for a few minutes. Evidently not. So, it's fired at us.
Over D.
Beam.
Over D. Pull up.
We might just be able to get it to run right into the terrain, but we won't intentionally. See if we can just G-pull it.
Pull up. Pull up. Over D. Over D.
Nope. But with that explosive ending, I hope you enjoyed this episode of I Have 4 Friends Gaming. And I hope you put what you've learned today to use in VTOL VR, and I hope it makes you a much better player. Or if you already knew all of this, drop down a comment and tell me how good you are at dodging missiles. I would like to know what the highest defensive you've gone up to. There's a mission, if I remember correctly, during SAM co-op, I got up to like 20. That was about the best I can do. If you don't believe me, come play with me sometimes, and I'll show you myself. Thank you so much for watching this episode of I Have 4 Friends Gaming. Catch you in the next one.